Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, City of Las Vegas Communications Director David Riggleman. Coming up on this show, casinos across Nevada begin to reopen, and George Floyd is honored with a unity rally at Floyd Lamb Park. The councilwoman who represents Ward 2 is Victoria Seaman, and of course she joins me now. Welcome back to the program. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Good
I'm good.
You
It's been a tough couple weeks.
It has, and it's been a tough couple of months. You add that in the weeks, it's been an interesting and challenging year, 2020. We will never forget it, that's for sure. But we have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Things, some good, some not so good, but we're going to get into all of that today. Of course, you represent Ward 2. That's where I live, in fact. You know Ward 2 very well. If you live in that area or work in the area with the big 2 on it, then of course you are in the city limits of the city of Las Vegas. Basically, we're west of the Rainbow Curve, if you kind of want to get your bearings there a little bit. But if you live in that area, work in that area, you're in the city of Las Vegas, you're in Ward 2. And if you're a resident out there, you're represented by Victoria Seaman, who's been on the council for just about a year now.
Right.
Yeah, time
enjoying
flies.
it very much.
You've been very busy.
Been very busy and really enjoy hearing from the constituents and meeting them. I'm a people person, and I always like to solve any kind of issues.
You do. Your staff too. That's what.
Oh, my staff's amazing.
You guys make yourselves available. It seems like 24/7. Please don't call them in the middle of the night, but you guys,
they do.
and you guys always respond to the many things going on out there. So
well, and we like to make ourselves available, especially during this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Councilwoman, the subject on the top of everybody's mind right now has been the death of George Floyd. You posted this on Facebook. You said, tonight we held a unity rally at Floyd Lamb Park at Tule Springs. This was to really show that the community certainly understands the plight of the African American community, what their message here, and obviously saying that we don't want to tolerate racism or injustice anywhere.
Yes.
That's what your message.
That's what the Unity Rally was about, and to bring people together and let them know that we need to honor and pray for George Floyd's family and stop the rioting and just unite together as Americans.
That was, I think, the message is that I heard all you council members say this, we support everyone's right to free speech and to demonstrate and to protest, but to do it peacefully. Do it peacefully,
and unfortunately that night, later after this Unity Rally, is when Officer Michelanis was shot.
Yeah, and those first 4 nights, we had about 10 straight nights of demonstration. Mm-hmm. The first 4 were pretty tense. The 4th night is when, as you mentioned, we had the shooting of the police officer, and then a demonstrator was also shot and killed that night. So it was a rough go. Since then, things have been peaceful, thank goodness.
Yes, and we're really glad that people have done peaceful protests, because we love when people are voicing how they feel. But what's happened across the country with so many innocent people getting killed, again, does not honor the life of George Floyd. And so our message is, please come with peaceful protests, but tolerating rioting, looting, and killing of innocent people is something we're not going to tolerate. As we're speaking, Officer Michelanis is struggling for his life in a hospital. And I just want folks to know that there is a fund for him, and be careful because there's a lot of scammers out there, but it's the Injured Police Officers Fund that is collecting money. And
that's the legitimate one, right?
Legitimate one. And please pray for Officer Michelanis and his family. And I ask people to pray for the safety for our officers across this country, because there are some bad characters, but the majority of our law enforcement officers are good people, and they have families too.
Yeah, and we want everybody to go home safe at the end of the day.
Absolutely,
right?
every single person.
Yeah, exactly right. Councilwoman, too, it's been huge. We're starting to reopen our businesses, including casinos. You posted this on Facebook. Time to open up all businesses using social distancing, and this was a big step forward. It felt kind of weird, but boy, people flocked here. Here
Yeah.
they were again.
Yes.
So
important. And once again, some businesses were open. They were practicing social distancing, and it seemed to work. So it really, really was time to get everything else open. Our little mom and pops have suffered long enough. It's very exciting to see people wanting to get out and get back to normal.
Yeah, and doing it safely. I mean, I think all the properties, certainly all the gaming properties, the casino properties, have got, so you can see the plexiglass screens there in front of the different tables and the different games. Obviously trying to do this, but doing it responsibly to where everybody will be safe. Bar areas, you have to be served. You can't just go up to the bar in places, but that's probably going to change when we get into phase 3, phase 4. Things will open up more, but right now it seems like
we're back to normal. Well, we
Yeah.
have plenty of traffic out there.
Exactly, and people are adjusting to this pretty well.
Yeah.
Everybody thought, well, how's it going to work? How's this going to happen? Well, we don't really seem to have missed too much of a beat.
We've been
back.
doing it for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's good.
Up and running there, that's really good. And then, Councilwoman, you're always busy, you and your team, and I got a kick out of this. You posted this on Facebook. You said, in recognition of Corrections Officers Week, my team dropped off donuts for all our fabulous corrections officers. And the corrections officers, folks, really are literally behind the scenes.
And forgotten sometimes.
So true. And so
They work in the prisons. They have a tough job. So we dropped off some masks too. They were short of some masks, so we brought some masks and donuts. And we always just want to kind of say, hey, we're here. We remember you. We think about you. And they really appreciate it.
For sure. Done a great job through this pandemic as well. Just an incredible job of keeping the inmates and their fellow corrections officers free of COVID-19.
They sure did.
So they did a fantastic job through all of that. We're really
did.
happy. That was obviously a challenge because the jails can get pretty crowded sometimes.
Oh, yes.
And their population is close together. They've done a great job of, maintaining a healthy environment.
Chief Freeman, she's amazing.
Yeah, she saw her. She was the lady in the mask holding the donuts and the
she
blue
heads
gloves.
The
So
marshals.
Right,
yes.
she does our Department of Public Safety. And then, Councilwoman, you had posted this on Facebook as well. You said a big thanks to the faith community and City Serve Las Vegas for providing much needed free testing while opening up our state. And this was our religious community helping get people tested, right?
That's correct. So City Serve reached out to all the faith leaders. They reached out to our office as well to help facilitate it. And they wanted to provide, they felt it was something they wanted to give back. And they did free testing. I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but almost every weekend they were partnering up with churches. Faith Lutheran was one of them,
right.
And that's where we were at in those photos. And just giving back. Everybody was a volunteer. The medical people and the up front doing the tests, the churches. Everybody was volunteer. So we wanted to go by and support them and drop them off some donuts and say, we really appreciate what you're doing in the community.
I think that's done a lot to give people a sense that it's safe to get out again. There's been so much testing. People think, well, I think I might have had it, or I felt like I could have had it. Well, you get tested, and then it's like, well, I'm okay. At least this moment in time.
It's important. It's important, and especially since so many folks don't have insurance, they don't know where to go. And this was free testing. If you had insurance, they would bill it. But you had to make an appointment, and it was like a drive-through. It was just amazing the way that they organized it.
Yeah, they
hundreds of people
exactly took advantage, and that's been going on across the valley. But kudos to faith
City
community,
Serve,
and
Faith
City Serve for getting out and doing all of that, because any kind of undertaking like that takes a lot of organization, and you want to be safe while you're doing it as well.
And they were able to get all those volunteers,
Yeah.
medical personnel. It was just amazing.
And it's been a challenge. They set that up. They have a school there, an elementary school, which had to close through the pandemic.
That's
so
right.
They had their challenges as well, but still managed to pull off getting people tested in the community.
It was great.
Good for them. And thank you for helping and recognizing them and making sure that people knew about it. That was the other thing, too. You helped spread the word that the testing was available there, and that was
Definitely.
really good. Yeah. You posted this on Facebook. You said, today we recognize the excellent work of the frontline staff at Atria Seville Assisted Senior Living Community during this challenging time. I live right near there, and there's signs as you turn in that say heroes work here, right? So
yeah, we just wanted to recognize these frontline workers that come to work every day and took care of the seniors during COVID.
Yeah, and so many of these facilities we've seen across the country, it's a challenging job because so many of our senior community were the ones who contracted.
They're vulnerable.
Exactly, the most vulnerable to COVID-19.
And so these people still went to work every day to make sure that they were taken care of. And we wanted to recognize those frontline workers, so we did, and they really appreciated it.
For sure, they're taking care of people who really need to be protected right now. Exactly right. So nice facilities over there on Rampart near Lake Mead.
Correct.
Drive by it all the time, and
it's a great facility.
It really is.
Facility.
And love the signs out there recognizing there were heroes work here, and you can't help but miss them. You can't help but see them as you go past. You can't miss them, and it's good, especially for the folks that they're looking after. You didn't stop there. You went over to Oakmont as well. This is Oakmont West, Las Vegas as a memory care center.
Oh, yes.
And
we also recognize their frontline workers because they're doing the same thing. And they recognized our officers by providing them lunch all day. Our Summerlin Command officers, you know, they could come by all day long and pick up a lunch, and they had all kinds of decorations for them and just saying how much they appreciate them. So many people have stepped up to the plate during this time to say, we really appreciate your hard work.
You know, Councilwoman, that's really a good point. I think in light of some of the protests that have turned violent and some of the other things that have taken place, maybe lose sight of the fact that there are a lot of people out there still trying to do good things. They're peacefully protesting. They're out helping the community, volunteering, giving of themselves, making sure that others are taken care of.
We've seen the good in our community as well.
Surely have. You know, you brought up a good point too with the officers having a place to get some food, because
during COVID
you couldn't go anywhere.
It was really tough.
Right.
So we did arrange for some restaurants to allow them to go on their patios and different things, but it was so nice to see other organizations like the Oakmont say, hey, they can come by here and get a lunch. People are just amazing. They have amazed me during this time, our community, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this community.
It's been a challenging time, and I think our challenges still await us with the economy now trying to recover from so many things being shut down. But we'll get through this. We always do.
We will.
We went through the recession. We've been through some bumps in the road, and we'll get through this as well. So, and one of the things that helps everybody put a smile on their face is that our amenities in many of our parks and city facilities are opening. Our splash pads, just in time for summer, have opened up, and the weather, you know, we've had some really cool days, but you know Las Vegas, it's going to be hot enough soon enough, so these will come in very handy.
They certainly will, and kids are ready to go out. You know, like adults, we're just ready to socialize again. Of course, keeping our social distancing, but kids need to get out in the sunshine and enjoy some playtime. So I think that by opening our splash pads and our parks, you know, minus the playground area, is good for our children. It's good for our community.
Yeah, it is. It is, especially these challenging times, getting out and having a little recreation, just getting your mind off all the pressures that are out there. Things like this really come in handy. So, Councilman, you bring up a good point. Playgrounds still not open. Governor says those will open maybe in phase 3 or 4. But right now, playgrounds remain closed, but our other city facilities are opening up.
Right.
You know,
so that's something for our parents to get their kids out to have some recreation, like you said.
And if you're looking for the city's splash pads, where they're located, you can visit our website, lasvegasnevada.gov. Search on there, and you'll be able to find all the facilities that we have, not just in Ward 2, but across the whole city. So, and then, Councilwoman, of course, since you were on last, we've had Memorial Day. And I love this. You posted this on Facebook. You said, I want to thank the American Legion Spirit of Freedom Post 76 for giving me the honor of being part of their Memorial Day laying of the wreath. And this is a wonderful ceremony. It's gone on for a number of years now. If you're not familiar, where a wreath is laid on the water out at the lakes which is in
Yes,
Ward 2.
and this has been a tradition for the American Legion Spirit of Freedom 76, and they've done it every year. And I had the honor of joining them to honor our heroes by laying the wreath out in the boat, and it was just wonderful to be with these heroes and be a part of their ceremony.
Very moving. This is a beautiful ceremony. This is very reminiscent of what you'll see at Pearl Harbor, for example, at the Arizona Memorial. And it's a very fitting and moving way to remember Memorial Day, and quite an honor for you to be chosen to be the one to place the wreath.
Yes,
so,
I was honored. It was such an honor.
Yeah.
And I hope I can do it again next year.
I'm sure they'll invite you back. So it's and you had good weather that day too.
Oh,
I
perfect
can remember
weather.
days in the past where it's been a little breezy out there,
or a little hot.
a little hot.
But it was
a
perfect
perfect day.
weather,
Yeah,
yes.
we need some perfect days these days.
Yes.
That's for sure. And then Councilwoman too, want to tell everybody too, Project Memorial. This is really talking about Memorial Day. This was really something.
Yes.
Flags for...
They were not going to lay the flags at the Veterans Memorial in Boulder City this year, so we got together with the Nevada Veterans Association, and we decided to raise the money to get the flags to make sure that we honored our heroes. And I can't tell you, it was overwhelming, the money that we raised to buy those flags. And the Injured Police Officers Fund was one of the donors through a donor. That came through several individuals, several groups, and we said that any money left over would go to veterans groups. And so we've already gave out to a couple, and we have a few more this week we're doing, and there is enough money left over that we are actually going to donate it back to the Injured Police Officers Fund, specifically for Officer Michelanis. So I'm so grateful that so many people wanted to donate. And look at the flags.
That's incredible.
We laid 10,600 flags. We had so many volunteers that before they sang the national anthem, within an hour, hour and a half, the flags were laid.
Wow. Where did the volunteers come from, Councilwoman?
Well,
who did you call upon?
Social media. And people just came because this is what they do every year. All these groups or people come to honor heroes, and they were confused because they knew it wasn't going to happen, but we put out a lot of social media that, yes, we've got the flags, we will be there, and people just showed up, and kids, adults, everyone. And it was so beautiful. I can't tell you how beautiful it was.
That's an amazing thing. I remember, I think it was because of COVID-19, that was the thought was,
Right.
well, we better not put the flags out this year.
Well, the group that normally does it, they were more susceptible because they were older.
Right, exactly.
And we just thought, no, we're going to do it. We're just going to make sure that we get people out there to do it. So we're grateful. And then we donated the flags back to the folks that normally do it.
Oh, that's outstanding. So
Yeah.
next year they'll
have
good
more
to go.
flags.
Yeah, exactly. So that's an impressive number, 10,600 flags, and you placed them in an hour?
About an hour to an hour and a half.
Wow.
It was rather quick. And there were just so many people that wanted to place those flags.
Wow.
So I also want to remind
That's
people
Las
that
Vegas, everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is our community. I just want to remind people that this Saturday at 9 o'clock we're meeting at Tropicana in Las Vegas to do a rally, peaceful rally for peace officers and for Michelanis. We'll be doing a march down Las Vegas Boulevard to honor our Metro, honor our police officers, and just say, you know, we're here to support you. There's been a lot of, you know, fallen officers across the U.S. Over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and we kind of want to just honor them.
Yeah, it's been a challenging time. The police have been vilified, glorified. It's just been a
And there are bad apples.
Yeah,
Listen, there's bad apples in everything, but overall, I come from a family of law enforcement.
No, you do. Yeah.
We know the sacrifices that they make, and we just want to honor them.
Yeah.
There's so many good ones.
Councilman, we had a fire at the Siegel Suites at Las Vegas Boulevard and Washington, and Las Vegas Boulevard and Bonanza, and 4 police officers went to the hospital because they were overcome with smoke trying to get people out.
That's right.
So that's the kind of work that they do every day as well. So they're all okay, they're all fine, but they were overcome by smoke and heat that day. So
Right.
it's pretty tough when you're running
It's a
toward
tough
a burning
job.
building as
It's a
opposed
tough
to
job.
running away from it, right?
It's a very tough job, and you know, they're sometimes unappreciated because of the bad characters, and there are bad characters, but they're sometimes unappreciated, and quite honestly, I don't know how they do the job.
Yeah, tough job.
It's
really
a tough job,
Yeah.
so we're going to honor them.
Yeah. We have a tough job too. You get out there every day doing your job too. So,
But like you, we were talking earlier, I love my job.
Yeah.
I love what I do. I love service. I love public service, and
clearly, because
It's-
you're always out in the community. Your door's always open, so to speak.
And I have
for
a great
people
staff.
to take care of problems in the community. I know firsthand. I live in your ward, and you know, I see firsthand what you're doing, what your team
Thank
is
you.
doing, because that's my neighborhood too. So.
Yes.
But Councilwoman, we're about out of time here. We want to tell everybody out there, hey, we always want to hear from you. So if there's something you'd like to share with Councilwoman Victoria Seaman, you can always find her on Facebook and Twitter. You can also contact her just by picking up the phone. The number is 702-229-2420, or you can send her an email. Her address is vseaman@lasvegasnevada.gov, and she or one of her fine staff will get back to you. You're also on Instagram too.
I
You do a lot
am.
on
Everything is
Instagram. Yeah.
Victoria D. Seaman.
Exactly.
So-
You do a great job on Instagram as well. So.
My daughter says I post too much, but
No,
you know.
what? You're in touch with your community, and I know you get a lot of response. People follow
I
you,
do, yeah.
and you hear from them as well.
I
So it's a
do.
vehicle for them to
I
communicate.
do.
with
They
you.
have a lot of ways to communicate
Yeah.
with me, because they do private message me on Instagram, on Facebook, you know. So I'm glad that I have all these channels for people to reach out to me.
Yeah, it's been challenging too. I know, because a lot of what we're dealing with right now, they're not really city issues, like the unemployment, for
Yeah,
example,
state issues.
state issues, but they can't get through in some places,
Yeah.
so they come to us.
That's
and,
right.
And so your staff's been
Oh, my
helping
staff's
answer
been
questions
amazing.
of all types, whether it's city related
Yeah.
or state or federal or whatever it might be. So
Yeah,
but
very grateful.
I know that's why we're here, right? We try to at least point them in the right direction, take care of what we can.
I think
So,
that's our job.
yeah, I agree. Well, great job on the show here today. We'll have you back in 6 weeks with another update from Ward 2. In the meantime, we want to tell everybody out there, don't miss our next show beginning on June 18th with Ward 5 City Councilman Cedric Creer. You can now catch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around. Stay safe, everyone.